Now recognize my colleague from Oregon, Ms. Bonamici, for 5 minutes questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Ranking Member, and thank you to the witnesses. I also want to acknowledge, I know Chairman Babin was here, his personal connection to the tragedy in Texas. So this is a time when Americans are facing increasingly deadly storms and floods and heat waves. So accurate and timely weather forecasts are critical. Instead of strengthening NOAA, which is, of course, the backbone of our weather enterprise, the Trump administration is slashing funds, gutting staff, and continuing its ongoing pursuit to privatize essential functions. Now, I'm going to follow up on Ranking Member Amo's comments. This is the weather forecasting bill of, people say 2017, but I've been working on this since 2013, and it took a while to get there, and I do support public-private partnerships, but I also want to emphasize that NOAA and the National Weather Service are critical for operational integrity and public safety and access. We cannot sideline the essential scientific research that powers our forecasting system, and much of the innovation we see in weather forecasting, which is a good thing, derives from decades of federally funded basic research and open NOAA data sets. So does the private sector have a responsibility to build on rather than replace NOAA's public mission? If you could just answer it, and I hope you can keep this a yes or no, just because I have other questions. Mr. Cavett?
Absolutely.
Dr. Nielsen-Gammon?
Yes.
Dr. Abdulati?
Yes.
Dr. Gupta?
Yes.
Thank you so much. So Mr. Cavett, how do you and other industry leaders plan to deliver forecasting products that enhance NOAA's services? What safeguards should Congress consider so this remains a successful partnership?
Well, Congresswoman, we already benefit greatly, as you said, from both the research and the operational tools that NOAA and other agencies have developed in this industry. But there's also a bit of a paradigm shift that's happening where the private sector is also contributing that level of scientific input and innovation and building tools to help complement the data that NOAA has and providing data to NOAA to fill gaps that it has as well. In terms of safeguards, I think having independent third-party validations, making sure that the data is sound, making sure that it's reliable, because it protects lives and property is critical.
Thank you so much. And Dr. Abdulati, since the beginning of this year and Donald Trump's inauguration, at least 1,500 NOAA employees, including meteorologists, data scientists, technical staff, were terminated or forced to resign. Several cooperative institutes, which are critical, as you know, have not received federal funding. And in fact, the administration is calling for the complete elimination of CIs. So NOAA's cooperative institutes produce more than half of the agency's lab research, including validation of AI forecasting model. So what would the administration's proposal of eliminating CIs mean for the future of accurate weather forecasting innovation, and who would be harmed if that research is no longer publicly available?
In short, it would be devastating because it would remove the capability, some of which could be taken over or is complemented by industry. But sometimes we delve in to understand for the purpose of understanding that ultimately delivers the benefits of that understanding without an eye toward sort of closing a business case, which is necessary for private entities. As far as who would be harmed by that, the American people. And also some of these cuts, we train the next generation. So the American people would be harmed for generations to come. We've already got people who've lost grants, who've had them pulled back, that can't carry out the work that they successfully competed for that ultimately would benefit.
And I assure you that's a serious concern of many members of this committee. And again, Dr. Abdulati, you talked about people. And I know, Dr. Nielsen-Gammon, you mentioned this as well, but if I want to emphasize, sat in this room and where you sit today, we had a whole discussion about the importance of social science and the social scientists, their contribution, especially in improving weather warning systems for clarity, to reduce confusion. So if you could just comment on the importance of having that input as well as the hard science, to have that social science and what it means in terms of, I mean, I represent a district on the Pacific Northwest, and I know, Dr. Gupta, you know this being from Washington State. We have a Cascadia subduction zone. We need good tsunami warnings, and they need to be accurate and timely in conveyed in a way that's urgent. So if you could just comment on the importance of that full range of science.
It's critical, and I included that in my written testimony. But ultimately, the value of the work is fully realized when we understand how people absorb information, use it, react to it, and act on it. So social science informs that, and so it's critical. And I will say that tends to be done in the universities at the cooperative
Correct.
institutes. The federal agencies, NOAA in particular, does not really have a budget to support social science except what's done through the cooperative institute.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm also on the education committee and fighting against the attacks on higher education. So thank you. As I yield back, I just want to emphasize we need to invest in NOAA. Lives and livelihoods are at stake. There is too much at risk. Thank you again, and I yield back.